Drink, and the wine shall bring forth the rest. Once upon a time, there was a lad who really enjoyed spending his time at his grandparents' country house. He adored hay-scented summers, but even more those autumns where life was all about the grape harvest. This meant the loveliest time of the year for him, the time when all his efforts paid off. He was helping in the vineyard during the whole year, hauled the manure together with his grandfather, hoed, dressed, pulled, tied up, grafted the grape, thinned out the rows, and set forth the vine plant. In the summertime, he examined closely and kept tasting the grapes and waited for the time of the clusters to come. When the grape grew ripe to be harvested, children, men, and women gathered and thread the wine happily, laughing and singing with blush on their cheeks, until a new day dawned. In the beginning, he could sip only the must, and he loved its sweet honeyed bouquet. But soon came the day when he was old enough to draw the tastiest wine from the barrel with a gourd in his grandfather's company. You could feel the past efforts and pleasure, rain and sunlight, sorrow and smile within the one clicking. When the time came to set out on his journey, he slung his satchel over his shoulder and waved his family goodbye. He was following the beaten path, and he was wandering for 7 and then 7 more years. He studied several crafts, got to the bottom of each and every, but still he kept being urged on, and he was starving for knowledge. One fine day, his path led through the land of a rich landowner. Vineyards lined up everywhere, as far as the eye could reach. Those colors, scents, and delights brought back his childhood to him and recalled those bygone summers, happy faces, diligent hands. As it was growing dark, he dropped in an inn on the way and ordered a bowl of wine. Yet, he knew he should revive all the learning and discover the feeling of tramping on the soil of the vineyard and tasting the aromatic wine in his mouth. From that moment, no matter where he came to find himself, he entered into the service of a wine dresser. He read technical books, took part in wine tastings and wine dinners. Despite all the places he visited, he drifted farther and farther apart of the good old memory, the taste of his grandparents' wine. He learned about different technologies, ingredients, classifications, but he couldn't feel that once known perfect harmony of man and wine. He felt himself estranged in that world where wine was analyzed as a chemical compound, where it was contested, evaluated, and where the connection with the fruit was more and more mechanized, impersonal, and utilitarian. He knew he may keep abreast by keeping up with the rhythm, for going ahead, spreading neither trouble nor pains or energy. At the same time, he kind of liked this world. He wished to know everything, to recognize, to clarify, to win, but he missed the scent of the oak barrel, the sweat of squeezing, the sweetening vigor of patience. Because of this, he felt that this should not be his path. So he set out on his journey again, strolled over hedge and ditch until he came to a neat village. In this very place, he happened to find himself in the middle of a feast, a dance, a racket, a tightener. He struck up a conversation with the local villagers, who treated him and offered him a place to sleep for the night. He stayed at the house of an old man with lined forehead. When they were about to go to bed, the old man hurried down to the cellar. He came back with a pitcher in his hand and said, "Anybody who crosses my threshold shall come and have some good wine with me. I prepare it myself with the pure blood of my wine." So he poured both of them some, and they kept talking until dawn over those glasses of wine. Then they went to bed, but his sleep eluded the lad. All his mind was wandering around his grandfather's house and his vineyard. All the old memories extruded, and he could feel the aroma of the tastiest wine in his mouth again. As soon as he woke up, he asked the old man what kind of wine he was offered the night before. The old man told him all about the wine, from which winestocks it had been harvested, how nice the weather was at the time of the harvest, how ripe the grapes were, about the level of sugar content, how many oak barrels were filled, and all about the deposit of the bottom of those barrels. As the boy was listening, he could imagine the taste of the wine, the atmosphere of his childhood, the scents long time forgotten traces of memory. Now, he knew how to follow the right track. He said goodbye to the old man and left to find a piece of earth, as much as a foot will cover, a place where he could grow his own wine. Then he knew that wine shouldn't be drank while turning it over in his mind, because it is not something measurable, evaluable, detachable, but should be drank with eyes closed, leaving it to feelings and experiences. Because wine is capable of a lot of things. It adjusts itself to your mood and to one or another attitude or situation. It is mellowing, developing continuously, therefore it can never be the same. It changes its character every time. This gives the unique experience at the time and place where it is tried in the joy of the moment. Since then, this boy has become a man, have taken a wife, and he is growing grapes and he is preparing his own wine. He has developed his own method of wine tasting. Many ask after him, invite him to different events, and he always shows the other face of wine with pleasure. He offers the wine for tasting playfully and creatively, living to see the essence, since the essence of the wine is the man.